Hey guys, what's up? It's been a minute. So in this video I'm going to be talking about what a calling is, and I'm also going to be saying what I mean by that. So what do I mean by a calling? A calling is something that you feel the urge to do, I'm going to be going over a few ways that I've noticed I've had a calling. And I'm gonna talk to you guys about how I go about finishing and choosing which calling you want to go to, and also how to get through those callings and what you may or may not be wanting to do. I am going to be smoking a cigarette in this video, so don't judge me. I know a lot of the other spiritual teachers back in the 80s used to do like tobacco pipes, so don't judge me. We're all on this journey to do it how we want to. So pretty much, what is a calling? A calling is something that you have either thought of to do or have heard of to do, and it's something that it's a journey essentially. Like, what do you want to do? Do you want to go seek after this journey? Do you want to choose a different path? That's pretty much what a calling is. It's something that you feel an urge to go do. So I've also noticed that in some of my callings, it's essentially a thought that crosses my mind without any hindrance. So one thing that I've noticed is whenever an example could be YouTube videos. Whenever I sit down to make a YouTube video, I have that calling to go do it. I have a sense of I have an urge that senses me to go and do these YouTube videos. And then also, whenever I get those kind of thoughts, I usually don't have any hindrance. And what I mean by that is I don't have any barriers in the way of those callings. And what I mean by that is, if I have a feeling to either make a video or take a walk or be with myself, what I want to do is, I usually don't have any hindrances whenever I do those type of things. Another thought that crosses my mind whenever I'm thinking about these callings and whenever I hear these callings is it feasible? So what I mean by that is, it something that can realistically be done. And what I mean by that is, do you have anything in the way that's stopping you from doing those certain activities? Recently I saw this, and this is why I wanted to make this video. Recently I saw a YouTube video of an elderly man. He was living way up in the mountains and he had a bunch of land, and he said that he was willing to take on disciples, and he was trying to help educate people on agriculture and the ways of the land. You know, how are you going to grow plants while all these rocks are in the way? What are you going to do to help manifest or bring about this community essentially? And unfortunately, I personally would have loved to go do something like that, but the only thing that I have that's a hindrance towards me is, I personally don't want to leave my family behind. So what I mean by that is, I would love to go into the mountains for like a few months or a year or 2 years and just really become a part of a community or one with the group, but I wouldn't feel comfortable leaving my family behind. So that's one thing that has stopped me from traveling and from seeing all of these different communities and helping other people in certain aspects and stuff like that. But basically what he wanted to do is, I think he had people come live with him for a few months or a few years out of the time, and they would spend time with him and they would learn from him, and it was a really good way to start a community. So pretty much that's what I mean by that. And this can be applied to pretty much anything in life. You know, do you have big projects or ideas that you want to go seek or sought after? Also, another way that this can be applied is through experiences that we might have that might alter our natural state of mind, such as a psychedelic like weed. You know, just some people hear that calling and then they go and they explore what that can present for them. So it can be applied in that way as well. Not as well, but it can be applied in that way too. So pretty much that's what I mean by what is a calling. It's an urge or something that spiritually aligns with you, and it's something that you could possibly look into doing one day. And I've noticed a lot of people that get those types of urges and stuff, they really have great ideas as far as building communities and relocating and traveling and teaching others. So pretty much that's what I was talking about in this video. So just to recap, what is a calling? It's a sense of urge to go do something that could help better others. Do you have any hesitations towards going and doing those callings? Such as, do you have a family unit that you don't want to leave behind? Or is money a hindrance? I know it's expensive to buy land nowadays, and doing something like a gardening community isn't really feasible for me. But just also, if you have any places like that in your area, I would highly advise going and visiting a community that gardens their own food and does little like I don't know what to call them, but I've met this one group of people that they do like exactly what I'm trying to talk about. They built a community. It's a one private land property. It's about like 2 acres, and I might go visit them and show you guys around. But they also have certain days of the week where they do different things. Like, I know one of the things that a lady was doing there was painting. So she would get all of these rocks, and she would get just things from nature, and she would like paint them and do a class, and she would be talking about the flow and the energy of what it takes to have the patience and the mindfulness to paint these naturalistic items. So pretty much that's what I was talking about for having a calling. I personally don't have the means to leave my family, and I'm not the type of person to leave my family. But if you could find somewhere like that that's local, it's really good to get out and get into the community. But yeah, that's pretty much all I had to say for this video. That's what a calling is for me. And I will say that another way that can be applied for a calling is psychedelics such as weed. And hearing that call, what that feels like to me is sort of having that activity in the back of my mind, such as smoking weed. So it's like, you know, you're sitting there, you're thinking, and you're like, you know, maybe I can go smoke some weed outside in nature one day. And that's sort of a calling as well. But what I mean by that is you can just think of things that you really would like to do and see how feasible they are for you. But that's a part of a calling. I know as far as any other psychedelics, it's something that you could travel to do, and that's something I plan on doing. I would like to try ayahuasca, but I would have to travel. I don't even know where I could go to do ayahuasca, but that is something that I would like to look into. So just keep that in the back of your mind. And then what happens after it's feasible? So let's just say you found a community, it's not too far away and your family will still be close by. Is it feasible to go live within this community? And I would say yes or no. Do they have the room and the board for you to be able to stay there? What are you going to gain from that experience? Are you going there to learn about agriculture? Are you going there to mingle and be amongst the group? What also could you provide for that community? Are you a carpenter? Or not a carpenter, but are you a woodworker? And stuff like that is really helpful, because then you're also helping build the community as well as you are joining the community. But that's something that I would have liked to have looked into. Maybe I'll try something like that one day, you never know. But yeah, also think about things that you could provide, you know, like, do you do arts and crafts? Are you someone who knits? Could you provide them with blankets and stuff like that? And if you are the type of person where a community isn't something that could work for you, you could definitely look into helping the homeless. So what I mean by that is, this is something that I've always wanted to do. I've always wanted to build like care packages for the homeless, because it is an issue where I live. There's a lot of homeless people that live in my state, unfortunately. And what I was thinking I could do one day is build a care package. You could have toothbrushes, toothpaste, you could have hygiene products in there, you could have deodorant, you could put a snack and a drink in there. You could put also feminine hygiene products in there. You could just give them a little bit of love without having to exhaust yourself in an unnecessary way. So pretty much that's all I have for this video. There's definitely ways to interact in your community, especially if you don't live somewhere that produces a lot of land. Like if you live in a concrete jungle, that's something you could do. You could help the homeless out. You could donate. I know personally, whenever I have clothes that don't fit anymore, I like to donate them to usually Goodwill. Now, I will say really quick, with Goodwill, they are sort of becoming more like uppity. And what I mean by that is they're starting to not overcharge, but they're starting to increase their prices, and they're trying to make it more aesthetically pleasing while making more money. But what they're doing isn't really helpful to people who need it. So if you know of a family that needs pots and pans, and usually you'll send them to Goodwill to get more affordable items, but for whatever reason Goodwill's increasing their prices. So it makes it harder for people to get their footing on the ground. So that's just one thing I've noticed recently that's in the world that's changing. But you can always try to make a difference. And if you're not the type of person where you're not able to spend a lot of money, then you could also try just spending time with these people, getting to know these people, because they're all worth getting to know. So each and every individual person has something to everyone has a story to tell, is basically what I'm trying to say. So just giving someone an ear, lending an ear. If you can't afford to lend a helping hand, then lending an ear or just being someone that they could talk to. Also, another thing is nursing homes. I know a lot of people in nursing homes get lonely, so going up there and spending time with them, stuff like that could also help people who are a little better off, and they're not homeless, but it could definitely help other people. So that's pretty much what I've heard for my callings personally, and that's all I wanted to go over in this video. But yeah, if you hear a calling and if you don't have anything holding you back from doing it, definitely put in some effort to try and help others out. But that's pretty much all I got for this video. I'd like to hear about some of y'all's experiences. If you've ever done anything like that, that would be super awesome to know about. And getting out into your community and having that voice be heard is a good way to help others. So I hope you guys have a good experience yourself. That's all I got for this video. Hope to see you in the next one.